Howdy boys and girls, my name's Calling Me Crazy and welcome back to the channel. You guys seem to really like the Google form inbox that I got set up for last video, and I got some questions already in there, so I'm going to answer one in this video here. If you want to send your own, you can in the Google form. I'll put it in the link in the description. And yeah, you can also choose the background gameplay. We got some more World at War from this question. And this person asked the age-old question that I feel like gets asked a lot around the, COD commentary community that I'm a part of, obviously. And that is it bad to chase the past for nostalgia, or is it just normal with age? So I'll give you kind of a plain and simple answer at first, and then kind of give my thoughts on that. So I think it's really natural that as you get older, obviously you're going to have so many experiences from your childhood that you remember that were great, and you reminisce about those old times. And I think that's something everyone does. Every adult does that. Doesn't matter how old you are. You can be in your 60s, you can be in your 40s, you can be in your 20s, like I am, and probably a lot of you guys are, and maybe the person that asked this question too. And it's fine. Yeah, it's natural to just reminisce about the good times that you had. But it also could get you stuck in the past, and nostalgia can be bad. It's a very thin line, between enjoying fond memories, but also kind of like getting stuck in a loop where you're just continuously hating new things. New things don't interest you anymore. I feel like that's a bad place to be. I've been there before myself, and you can get out of it. It's not like you're stuck there forever. Obviously, you have to get with the times and provide for yourself, and it's nice to be able to enjoy new things. But there may have been a lot of good for you to remember from a certain time period. But your brain loves to gloss over the bad that comes with those times because that's just how nostalgia works. It's kind of like highlighting all the good things that you've experienced that you love. Like, for instance, for me, one of my biggest highlights, and probably a lot of you guys as well, is playing Black Ops 2 for the first time ever and like going through its life cycle when it came out. I would give up anything to go back to that. That would be amazing to experience again. But obviously, that's not realistic. I can't turn back the clock. I can't turn back time. I can go back and play those games, but they're not the same. They're not as populated. Obviously, they're old. They don't work as well. Servers suck most of the time. Connections are bad, and you kind of do lose that. But at least you know what it was before, and you've had those memories. And it's good to just remind yourself. It's like, yeah, I was there. I'm glad I was there. I appreciated it. But at the same time, don't try your darndest to try to go back to that time. It's fun to do, some things now and then where maybe you get a group of friends and you guys do like a LAN party together on Black Ops 2, or this could be anything really. I'm just giving an example. Or maybe you are like me and I still have access to my old PS3 and I still play matches on there every now and again. I can still get lobbies, not as commonly as I want to, or at least would appreciate, but at least it could still happen. And as long as those servers are still up, I will, probably still play. And yeah, I still grab a lot of this stuff from, when I mean stuff, I mean like different COD footages from different time periods. Like I'm playing World at War right here. I probably recorded this a few days ago. Um, Other old CODs I've played, I still play them, but mainly for the channel and mainly for like streaming now and again, just to have a chill stream. By the way, if you didn't know, I do stream. They're kind of sporadic. I usually try to stream Tuesdays and Thursdays, but sometimes I stream on the weekends. It just depends on my work schedule. But yeah, um, it's fun to cherish about old memories from time to time, but you shouldn't really like make that sort of your entire aesthetic in a way, or your vibe. I feel like that could get pretty damaging unless you're doing it in like a business standpoint. I feel like if you're someone like that has a certain style, especially in like fashion, that you love and you cherish, and you seem like deem as profitable to other consumers that are maybe around the same age range or just love that style, maybe even younger kids that don't know about that stuff, that you can get, into your business. I think that's great. Stuff like that is awesome and should happen. I feel like that's a very positive outlook on nostalgia and business ideas. And I feel like those types of days where things were so much simpler. I talked to kind of about it in the last video, where things are a lot simpler, and that's why it was so nice to, reminisce about that stuff and try to bring it back. And there's nothing really wrong with that. Like, I'm over here listening to 2000s bands, like rock bands that I've never heard really before, but I understand the vibe, and I just jam out to that almost all the time whenever I'm in my car. But obviously, I like new music too. I like keeping up with rap artists that I follow. I'm really into indie. I've been kind of expanding my indie playlist a good little bit, and I always look forward to new releases and stuff. So it's not like I'm, always listening to just things in the early 2000s or prior to that time period. I'm listening to stuff that comes out next week or next month. I always look forward to stuff like that. And that's kind of the balance. You really just got to balance it. You can't be stuck in one or the other. Don't feel guilty. Don't feel guilty of, pulling out your old Xbox and playing some, I don't know, you could play old COD or Gears of War or whatever you used to enjoy on Xbox, and hanging with some old friends you haven't talked to in a probably decade or longer. There's nothing wrong with that, but don't let that become kind of your priority in life. I think that's kind of toxic, or at least not toxic. That doesn't sound like a great word, but very controlling. You know, um, learn to enjoy new things. And I'm sure if you asked any other old person in your life about, what was their like most fond memories, they'd probably go back to childhood or early in their life, especially if they're like super old, like grandparent level. Then yeah, they'd probably reminisce about stuff that happened way back in the past that doesn't happen anymore, or that time period's just gone. So just to round it off, I think you should embrace nostalgia, enjoy it for what it is, and appreciate the times you were in, the moment of those, memories that you have. Go ahead, revisit old retro games you've played, music you haven't heard in a while, clothing styles that you think went out of fashion or are out of fashion. Just indulge yourself in them, but always remember it doesn't control your life. You can experience new things that are just as enjoyable, and don't let it be a thief of joy when you're in the moment and having fun. Be happy that the old times happen and make room for new ones. And that's kind of all I had for this video. Thank you, whoever sent in this question. And I have a couple more to do, and if you guys keep sending in, I'll keep making videos on your questions. So I appreciate it, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!